like to raise my cacti and succulents from seed. It's kind of my thing. About 90% of the plants you can see behind me were raised from seed. I just find it more fulfilling, although it does take a whole lot more patience. However, there are some occasions where I will splash out a little bit of money to buy a fully grown plant. And I thought, why not look at my criteria? What drives me to spend money on a plant rather than sowing seeds? And my exemplars? Why not share with you some of the strange, wonderful and slightly manky plants that I bought over the summer holidays. Everything from this chewed up, very stressed aloe to this beautiful, pristine peyote cactus. So let's check out all the plants that I bought this summer, and I'll talk you through why I bought them. Criteria 1, it's cheap. Sometimes plants are just at a price point that you cannot overlook them, often discounted. One of my favourite nurseries had a tree branch come down over its succulent section and it damaged a few of the plants. This one here, this is called an Agave Galactic Traveller. It's a cultivar defined by its kind of light bluish green leaves, variegated with yellow margins. It's quite a beautiful plant. And looking at this one, you can see it's got a few scars from the branch that came down over the top, but nothing really significant. In fact, most of what was wrong with this plant was it was just covered in dirt. So I hosed it off, good as new, super healthy, and in time, those scars are just going to go away as it sheds these leaves. But the thing about it was 66% off the marked price. How do you turn your nose up at that? And the cool thing is, it's got a little pup coming up as well. So soon I'll have 2 of them. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you cannot walk past a deal like that. And I've said before, I don't know a whole lot about agaves and their relatives, so I feel like this is a fantastic opportunity to start to get to know them a little bit better. Not bad, I reckon. Now I've got another plant, though, that was even cheaper. This fairly manky, stressed out thing, this is an aloe hybrid. It goes by the name Aloe Fairy Pink, I assume because it sends out pink flowers. Now, although it is stressed and its leaves are a little bit chewed up, it's in perfect health, no dramas whatsoever. You'll never guess how much it cost me. 50 cents. 50 cents, reduced from 12 bucks. That's insanity. Even if I don't do anything with this, I just stick it in the ground and see what it does, see if it flowers. I'm not really one to go for aloe hybrids, but you never know. Maybe something like this will introduce me to a whole new world. 50 cents for a healthy plant. But it's not price that usually drives me to buy something. Sometimes it's just too good to overlook. Usually though, it's curiosity. Something strange, different, and especially things that I can't raise from seed. And, well, it's a little bit of a bonus. Something like this and that agave, neither of those can be raised from seed because they're cultivars. So let's talk about the wonderful world of plant cultivars now. Put simply, a cultivar is when some very desirable trait in a plant is isolated and then reproduced asexually through cuttings, basically. Because when you grow plants from seed, genetic variability means that you may not necessarily get those amazing flowers or that interesting growth form reproduced through the babies. The only way to ensure that it continues and perpetuates on is to take a cutting and grow the cutting on. And that's what a cultivar is. And often they have these wonderful names, like that Agave Galactic Traveller. That's some sort of hybrid that someone has identified, isolated, reproduced, and now can only be produced through continued cutting. Different countries all around the world are known for their kind of specialization in different types of succulents. You know, the Japanese, they do incredible things with astrophytums, for example. Or the Thai and their Euphorbia Françoisii. Australia, maybe because it's got a bit of a flourishing alternative scene, but there's an amazing world of Trichocereus put out there, particularly Trichocereus pachanoi and its cousins. And I thought I'd buy these two because they were just so incredibly desirable. This one here is a cultivar known for its flowers. It's called Trichocereus Shep Purple, and it grows these immaculate big purple flowers. If you know anything about Trichocereus, most of them have white flowers. So when you start bringing colour in, fantastic. There's a whole cottage industry of amazing coloured flower breeders all over the country. Not limited to Australia, but certainly growing there. Kind of on trend. You know, we went from weird monstrose plants to now really colourful flowers. And I can't resist getting in on a trend, right? This one, however, is called Trichocereus pachanoi espiritu. They're only cuttings, they've got no roots at the moment, so that's why I'm trying to prop it up as I talk. Now, espiritu at this point in its life doesn't look like anything special, but it has a morphology, what we call a phenotype, which is absolutely stunning and unlike any other Trichocereus pachanoi I've ever seen. It grows with these incredibly kind of ridged, I don't know, warped ribs. An absolutely iconic and very unique form, which I couldn't resist having in my own collection. It will take some time, a couple of years, before it starts putting out those traits. But again, buying seeds produced from a mother plant espiritu is not necessarily guaranteed to perpetuate that feature, that morphology. The only way to ensure that I got it was to buy a cutting of the original plant. So here it is. I'm very excited to own it and grow it into something hopefully quite massive in time. So the uniqueness of cultivars is another reason that drives me to spend money on fully grown plants as opposed to trying to raise them from seed. Now this is a cultivar too. It's called Pachyphytum baby fingers, but unlike those Trichocereus who I was like, I really must have these in my collection, this one I bought because of the content. For you guys, I actually had a request. Someone asked me, hey, can you stop growing all these rare, weird, obscure things and show us how to grow more common, available, regular kind of succulents? And I thought, yeah, no worries. You know, ego, inflation, I can look after that. No dramas at all. It kicked my little ass at first. Honestly, brought it into the greenhouse. What does it do? First thing you can see, starts dropping its leaves everywhere. Here's me thinking, yeah, everyday succulents, not a problem. Let's do that. The good news is it's since recovered, but you know what? Goes to show. You still got to do a whole lot of learning whenever you bring something new into your collection, because I've never actually grown a Pachyphytum before. I've got a couple of Echeverias out in the garden, but you know, this is a whole other world. Anyway, it's recovering, and maybe in time, I'll have the confidence to actually come back and say, this is how you grow it. But for now, let's let it sit for a little while. So anyway, sometimes I buy stuff just for the content. And then, sometimes you buy plants for X factor. These are two very, very different plants. This is a Huernia. I'm not exactly sure what species. And this is an Adromiscus. And when I bought them, they were both in the same pot. I thought, you know what? Who can turn up the opportunity to get a bonus Adromiscus with their Huernia? But what I really liked about this Huernia was the mystery behind it. Because with most of these Asclepiads, you can't actually identify them until they flower. So just looking at the body, I was like, okay, Huernia, Asclepiad. What species is it? I don't know. It's a bit of a mystery bag, a lucky dip, so to speak. And excitingly, I can see now it's starting to develop a few little flower buds. So maybe in a week or two, I'll be able to answer the mystery. What I'm hoping for is that it's a species that I don't already have. I'll be very disappointed if it's just something that I've already got growing in here and I dropped $8 to get it. But I suppose the good news is I'll have this cute little Adromiscus to go with it. This one, this is just a leaf, a single leaf, but it's already rooted. This is a species of plant that will grow from leaf cuttings. So in time, I guess, you know, even if this one is a dud, it's nice to add something new to your collection too. I've never actually grown Adromiscus. And sometimes you just see a plant that's just impossible to walk past. Like this beautifully grown, almost perfect Lophophora williamsii cespitosa. That epithet cespitosa, cespitose means many heads, lots of tiny little heads, different from the usual form of peyote, which is just one button that slowly, very slowly clumps over time. This is pristine, grown by one of Australia's premier cacti growers. And so when I saw it for sale online, I was just like, no, you know what? I need to own this plant. I do intend in time to do some interesting staging with it, to put it in a pot, maybe stress it out a little bit, get a bit of those habitat conditions, get it to retract into the soil, see how it goes. Probably won't look as beautiful as this after I'm done with it, but it's a really interesting plant. And I thought, just to show you how nice this plant is, I'd actually get it out of its pot. It came in the pot, in the post. Look at all that, very mineral soil that it's been grown in. These plants are typically reproduced through cuttings. Tease out some of that. Always good practice when you get new plants to repot them anyway, just in case there's anything nasty lurking under the soil line. Look at that. You get a real beautiful sense of its cespitose nature. And oh look, a little one that's been detached. You can grow that on itself, and in time, in years' time, it'll turn into another one just like this. Fantastic. And that essentially sums up why I buy fully grown plants. For the most part, these plants aren't available to grow from seed anyway. This is the notable exception. And I suppose when I know what species this is, maybe I could grow it from seed. But then where's the fun and the mystery? And yeah, I could grow this from seed too. But I didn't buy it because it was there. It was just a nice little bonus. So with all that being said, I reckon go out, spend some money, add some cool plants to your collection, or if you've got money to spare, buy one of these cool t-shirts, Arid Cactus Club. Design this myself. Always appreciate the support. Plenty of people have bought them already. Thank you so much. Anyway, that's it from me today. I hope you enjoyed having a look at a few interesting plants and things that I've added to my collection. I'll catch you next week. In the meantime, happy growing, and yeah, I'm going to go and try and finish my winter greenhouse now because they're all starting to wake up on me and they're not in there yet. So, you know, wish me luck.